All right. Welcome back to another episode of What the Wednesdays. This is where we bridge the gap between the Tulane week and the Tennessee week. We do this weekly every Wednesday. So thank you guys for tuning in for another episode. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, do all that cool stuff down below within the comments section. Let's argue about it. Donate below. Follow me on Twitter as well. All the links are down below. So yeah, show love. And of course, if not, it is what it is. We don't trip over here about that. Okay. But it's your boy, the ATX Tuner. And again, welcome back to What the Wednesdays. Today I kind of wanted to go over some stats, kind of comparing Tennessee and comparing Tulane, just to see, the differences between the two teams. Let's take a look at, who they've played, the competition, who's faced better competition, and just get a better gauge of, where we could end up in this game this week. Of course, this isn't the preview. The preview will be releasing either tomorrow or Friday. But either way, this is not the preview. We're just bridging the gap between the 2 weeks. So you won't hear any predictions when it comes to yards or when it comes to the score for the Tennessee game in this video. That'll be the next one. So yeah, let's get into it. Of course, got the handy dandy notebook right here. But I wanted to just go through these stacks really quick. So let's compare Tennessee, Tulane, and Oklahoma, all three of us, okay? So total passing yards for the team. Tennessee right now is number 23 in the nation. And of course, I'm manually counting these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so they might be off by a number or two. It's a lot. It's they're close together. Okay, I'm 30, anyways. So Tennessee, number 23 team in total passing, 303 yards per game. And you can compare that to Tulane's, they're number 55 in the country, 248 yards per game. Obviously, we handled our business against Tulane overall. They only scored 1 touchdown against us. I think we've only allowed maybe like 2 touchdowns this year. Not quite sure. It's been a long year already. But anyways, and you compare that to Oklahoma's. We're in the back 100, y'all. 166 yards per game. We're banged up at the wide receiver position. All that should be figured out with this Tennessee matchup coming up. Since I'm hoping that we got Nick Anderson and Andrew Anthony back. Fingers crossed. Total rushing yards. Tennessee is number 3 in the country. 336 yards per game. God damn. I mean, they haven't faced in Oklahoma. Don't get me wrong. They haven't faced in Oklahoma. So there's a big difference when it comes to that. But damn, they're damn near putting 350 yards a game on the ground. Ground and pound. Can't get mad at that. Compare that to Tulane's. They're number 62 in the country, 165 yards per game. Compare that to Oklahoma, who's even worse than Tulane, at a number 67, 159 yards per game. Mind you, our leading rusher is our quarterback. We're not going to go there. Anyways, total yards. Tennessee is number 2 in the nation with 639 yards a game. Again, we're going to cover the competition. But god damn, 639 yards per game. Not really worried about that. It's not going to happen against Oklahoma. It better not happen against Oklahoma. But that versus Tulane, they're number 59 in the country with 414 yards per game. And our offense, of course, is in the back 100, 325 yards per game. This offense is non-existent at this point. Jackson Arnold's doing everything he can, but he needs help. He really needs help out there. Now, you switch to the defensive side, things start to look a little bit better for Oklahoma. A lot better for Oklahoma, let me say that. But let's start with Tennessee. Now, their points allowed, number 3 in the country. They are allowing 4 points per game. You heard me correct. Tennessee is allowing 4 points per game. We just went through how dominant their offense was. Looks like their defense isn't too far off. Versus Tulane, they're number 78 in the country with 22 points per game allowed. We're number 24 in the country, top 25 team with 11 points per game. Again, we're going to cover the competition. Okay. Yards allowed. Tennessee is number 2 with 160 yards per game allowed. Tulane is number 63 with 315 yards per game. And we're number 27 with 264 yards per game allowed. Night and day, man. I mean, when you think about the progression of this Oklahoma team, the progression of this Oklahoma defense since Brent Venables has been here, year by year, we're getting better and better and better. And I can't see that ending anytime soon. Oklahoma will field the number 1 defense in the nation under Brent Venables. Stamp that. So that kind of gives you just an overall look at the team stats. We're comparing. Yeah, Tennessee might be playing a team who is way better than any other team that they've played this year, and this is technically their first away game also. But at the same time, Oklahoma, we're stepping up in competition as well. We haven't played a team like Tennessee. Tulane is the closest thing to Tennessee, and you see how far off those numbers were. So both teams are taking a step up in competition. We do have that home field advantage when it comes to, not having to worry about the crowd going crazy, especially a Tennessee crowd. Glad we don't have to worry about that this year. But this is going to be a game that sets the standard. Again, that might be the motto for the year. Set the standard. Because this game is going to set the standard for the remainder of the year for both teams. Tennessee, you haven't played anybody. Can you go into Oklahoma? Can you go into Norman, into that Palace, and get a dub? Or Oklahoma, you've struggled. Can you put it together on offense? Because we're not worried about the defense. So that's that. Now let's go into their my battery's about to die, so making this quick. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver 1. We're gonna go who's leading. So Nico, obviously he's leading the league. He's leading the team QB yards. 698 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Think about this. Jackson Arnold has not performed that good, but he has 484 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. So we're talking down about Jackson Arnold, but when you look at the numbers, he might be outperforming Nico, just not in the yards. But where it counts, he's doing better. Running back. Hell of a running back, man. Sampson, 357 yards total with 9 touchdowns this year. God damn. And our leading rusher is our quarterback. But if you want to go right after that, we're talking about Javonte Barnes with 129 yards and 0 touchdowns. Taylor Tatum has 2 touchdowns, but he doesn't have more yards than Javonte. Their wide receiver 1, Thornton Jr., 169 yards, 5 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Versus Deion Burks, the same amount of yards, 169 yards, but in 22 receptions. So he's caught the ball well more than their leading receiver, but when it comes to the production, they're the same. Only difference is Burks has 1 extra touchdown than Thornton. They've got 4 total sacks, 1 interception, 2 forced fumbles, versus our 11 sacks, 4 total interceptions, 4 forced fumbles. Stutzman, he's leading the league. He's leading the team with 33 tackles. They have a defensive back leading the league, Will Brooks. Leading their team with 10 tackles. But he also is the one responsible for their interception. I believe he also has a sack on the board as well. So Will Brooks keep an eye on that guy. But my overall takeaways, I'm not trying to make this video too long. Again, we're trying to shorten things up. Get straight to the point here. All right, we're back. Technical difficulties. My camera died. We're back in action though. So, what are we going through? Competition. Okay. So Tennessee has faced Chattanooga, North Carolina State, and Kent State. Now, mind you, North Carolina State is a ranked team, but they've only played Western Carolina and Louisiana Tech. Won both games. Wasn't like they killed them. And then at the same time, they lost to Tennessee. Got killed by Tennessee. Now, that says a lot to me when it comes to who Tennessee has faced versus, I mean, we've honestly, along with that Tulane game alone, we faced better competition than Tennessee has. I mean, we're being honest. And then if you want to compare the Tulane team versus that Tennessee team, I just gave you the teams that Tennessee faced this year. Tulane has played Southeast Louisiana. All right, every team gets one of those games. But outside of that, they face a number 17 Kansas State and a number 15 Oklahoma, which they played both teams very well. Now, you can look at that and you can look at Kansas State and you can look at Oklahoma and you can be like, or how good are you? Or you can look at a Tulane team that has faced up against competition and it's been consistent. They've done it consistently. To me, that says a lot more about this Tulane team. Good team, coach, have a great coach. I mean, it is what it is. Tulane is not a pushover, okay? Whereas you can look at Tennessee's schedule and say they face nobody but pushovers. And their stacks should reflect what their schedule showed, who they've played so far. It is what it is. You have to be honest about that. A lot of people think we don't have a chance against this team. It is. We're gonna surprise some people. Again, I'm not going over the score, nothing like that. I'm just bridging the gap, of course. Now, for Nico, this is his first true away game. And it's not like he's going into Louisiana Tech playing them. No, you're going into the Palace. You ask your head coach about the Palace. He'll tell you everything you need to know about it. They're not going to come in here taking this lightly. I know that. Their head coach is not going to allow that to happen. But when you're talking about somebody he has the same amount of starts as Jackson Arnold. Imagine when Jackson Arnold goes into Auburn. That's not going to be, it's going to shake his head up a little bit. Even though Auburn's not the team that we're worried about, really. You still got to think about the fact that it's your away game. Your first one at that. You can't count the freaking bowl games from last year. That don't count. So, Nico, we're going to figure out a lot about the kid. Again, comparing their two stacks, yeah, he has more passing yards, but when it comes to production and points, Jackson Arnold is he's performing better. And we have so much negative to say about the kid. We have so much negative to say about Jackson Arnold. But when you compare him to somebody who people are like, oh, he can win a Heisman one day. When you compare him to Nico, their production is not crazy different. So keep faith in Jackson Arnold, okay? And the reason why you should have more faith in Jackson Arnold is because I feel like Nick Anderson and Andrew Anthony will be returning against Tennessee. We had reports that Andrew Anthony was back last game. He didn't play. We saw Nick Anderson warming up for the Tulane game. He didn't play. So these guys are healthy. So we can expect to see them against a good Tennessee team. Now, how rusty they'll be, I don't know. Of course, I feel like Andrew Anthony might have a little bit more rust on him than Nick Anderson. I feel like Nick Anderson is like a CeeDee Lamb, where you don't have to go, you don't have to participate in training camp, step on the field, dominate. But we'll see. We will see. Um, Man, when it comes to the defense though, it's time for that front seven to stamp their reputation. Live up to everything that you've been showing us. Continue the dominance. Eat. Eat. Yeah, Tennessee has a very good O-line. Our defensive line is better. Let's prove that on Saturday. Okay? Eat. I expect them boys to go crazy. I don't expect them to fall off from any stat that they've shown all year. Give us 2 turnovers. That's an expectation at this point. Okay? 2 turnovers. Let's do it. Whether it's a fumble, interception, it don't matter. Let's get it. You know, I expect them boys to continue to be who they've shown us to be. And if they can do that against a really good Tennessee team, that lets you know our odds going forward. And then especially if, Nick Anderson and Andrew Anthony returning makes as big of a difference as I think it's going to make, people going to start looking at us different, Oklahoma. It is what it is. So I hope you're ready for it, because I'm ready for it. I'm excited. And yeah, man. But that's all I got. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to make these things too long. I can go forever. You see, I got the Beat Texas on. Why do I got the Beat Texas hat on? Cause this is UT2. This is UT number 2 that I'm talking about right here. So it's the closest thing that I have to saying beat UT again. All right. This is my anti-Tennessee hat this week. Okay. So, anyways, yeah, y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. I appreciate y'all's time. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, donate below. Follow me on Twitter. Make sure that go in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all are thinking. I like to bounce ideas off you guys. I like to. Hell, we might even disagree with some stuff. Let's talk about it in the comment section below. So let's do that. Let's get a little bit more engagement when it comes to that. But yeah, man, positive message of the day. Man, when you feel like you have nothing left, the feeling alone is proof that there's still something there. Maybe that's a little too deep for y'all. I don't know. Y'all think about that. Think on that one, all right? Because that one's a deep one. So, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been another episode of What the Wednesdays. And yeah, man, it's your boy, the ATX Sooner. I'm signing out. I'll see y'all for the Tennessee preview. Hasta la vista, baby.